Hi, I'm Emerald Fennell, the writer-director of SALTBURN, and I am delighted to be here at the Alamo Drafthouse to show you the movie and to do my guest selects. Let's get into it. The Servant is one of my favourite films of all time. It's absolutely incredible, and it's one of the collaborations between Harold Pinter and Joseph Losey on this list. It's about a gentleman who lives in London, an aristocratic gentleman who gets what he believes to be the perfect manservant, who turns out to be not quite what he appears to be. And it is one of the most taut, beautiful, erotic pieces of cinema of all time. And so much of it feels like part of the blood of Saltburn is in there. Some of the shots are just exquisite. The use of mirrors, the use of watching, voyeurism, the use of shadow. It's truly a remarkable film. And I think you can see its reach in movies like The Handmaiden and Parasite. I think any movie about power and sex has a lot of The Servant in it.
But it makes all the difference in life. Oh, what does? Tasteful and pleasant surroundings. You've said a mouthful.
I think The Handmaiden deserves to be on every list just in terms of its absolute staggering beauty. It's the most exquisitely shot film, but it is also an unbelievably deft thriller and an incredibly impactful erotic movie. And it is again a story about masters and their servants and how that power dynamic is abused and how it is manipulated and who has the power. And it's a really, really exceptional piece of gothic cinema, and it's one of my favourite films of all time. Well, I could have chosen almost any of the Ealing comedies because I love them all so much. But Kind Hearts and Coronets is one of the greats, and I think in terms of performance, I mean, Alec Guinness plays about 10 characters, I think. And so there's always this wonderful interplay between what's real and what's not real, and a kind of acknowledgement that this is a satire and a comedy, but with a really, really savage, kind of sharp, satirical knife inside it. There's also something gleefully violent and a kind of wish fulfillment in this film about the way that the protagonist takes down these people one by one by any means necessary. It's a stroke of genius. Cruel Intentions. Is there any line more memorable than...
You can put it anywhere.
Certainly. For me as a teenager, left an indelible mark. And I think that it's a perfect example of actually a kind of gothic romance. It's based on Liaisons Dangereuses, and it is the most brilliant adaptation, I think, of a classic work. And it's incredibly sexy. It's incredibly funny. It's a really smart satire on that kind of Upper East Side private school world. And it drove all of us completely insane with desire for every single character in it. For me, I definitely wanted to make a movie that gave me, that would give other people the same kind of feeling that Cruel Intentions gave all of us when we first watched it. And, apart from anything else, the soundtrack is completely out of this world and is still one of those soundtracks that I think contributed to so many of us who made things later. We made our own movies in our minds listening to that soundtrack.
It's okay. I don't love you either.
I mean, I could have chosen any of Sofia Coppola's movies. They are all of them so brilliant. But I think the Bling Ring is one of the ones that I kind of go back to again and again for its just sheer cleverness. It was also, one of the first movies that I could think of even before, I think, The Social Network, that took a piece of very, very recent history and made it so sharp and funny, and it's beautifully shot. It's an incredibly smart thriller. It's funny as hell, and Emma Watson gives, I think, a just staggeringly brilliant performance in it. And it's again something that I'm always fascinated with my own work, which is you know, taking an actor that we're used to seeing in one way and showing them in a completely different light. And I think I just remember the first time seeing Emma Watson, like Hermione Granger in that movie, is this kind of little juicy couture monster. And I just thought, wow, this is great. And that's just a handful of the movies that helped inspire Saltburn. And I hope you get to see some of them if you haven't seen them already. And I hope you get the chance to go and see Saltburn in theatres on November the 17th.